How much is that worth? $2,000? $3,000? Johnny, how much is that worth?
Look, I mean, Mercedes-Benz invented the car 132 years ago, and it took them this long to figure that out. What have they been wasting their time doing?
Hey guys, we're here in Texas, just outside of San Antonio, driving the brand new 2020 Nick Mercedes-Benz. We can't say that because of this.
This car has a My Mercedes
What would you like to do?
Has a My Mercedes feature in it, which
Yeah,
has been driving Roman and I crazy.
It's their new UBX, and every time you say, hey Mercedes, or even Mercedes, it says, what would you like to do? Cancel.
How are we going to get around this?
I think we have to call it Bob.
All right, Bob.
So,
hey, Bob.
So there are two Bobs.
Please repeat.
Cancel! Cancel.
Failed.
So there's two Bobs. Now keep in mind that Bob is really short. And there's a 350 and a 450, and we're in the 450.
Yes.
And this has the straight six. It puts out 362 horsepower and 369 pound-foot of torque, dude.
That's a lot of horsepower. I was thinking back to just sedans or even muscle cars in 1980s, 1990s. They did well under 200 horsepower, so this is significant.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. And Mercedes says 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. Oh, I said it. I was almost got caught. Bob says 0 to 60 in 5.5, which is
impressive.
Crazy fast.
Yeah.
9-speed automatic transmission, and a vehicle that is a 2020 model. So we're driving the future, dude, literally and figuratively. Now there's a interesting bit of tech that this car does, and it has to do with the active suspension.
Yeah.
So why don't we show what it does? Lynn, how much would you pay for that option?
How much wouldn't you pay?
Well, what you see here is the Hall of Fame of active suspension systems at Mercedes-Benz. The main advantage is that we have a perfect combination of driving behavior, we have perfect ride comfort, and we have perfect vehicle dynamics. And so we introduced the first active suspension system in 1999 in the S-Class. So that's different from just the roll compensation systems that you know maybe in the market. We can regulate the roll of the vehicle, we can regulate tilt, and we can also regulate vertical movements of the body.
What's this guy doing?
Yes.
Show me what's happening there.
Yes, that's the new free drive mode, and that shakes the body in vertical direction. So if you got stuck in the sand, then this movement helps you to get out.
And this has not just obviously air suspension that lifts the car up, but it does much more than that. So for instance, it has a camera that looks down the road and anticipates what the road is doing, and it can adjust the wheels for the road condition.
So the road surface scans the road in front of the vehicle, and if you see the road profiles, then we control the forces at each wheel independently, so that the body gets much lower impacts from the road. That was the first system that used a stereo camera, a sensor, to scan the road surface in front of the vehicle. So the active suspension system already knows the road surface that comes to the vehicle and can react a couple of milliseconds before the road even hits the vehicle.
It can also do a thing called curve. We can put it in curve mode, and that basically makes it act like a motorcycle so that it tilts into the corners.
Right.
Curve program is this nice function that changes the roll at each curve, so that the body is tilting inside each curve, and the body changes its roll angle up to 3 degrees.
It doesn't dive when you hit the brakes. It doesn't squat when you accelerate. By the way, I love this huge 24-inch screen. I love this.
24 inches.
I think that's 24
That's
inches.
big.
Yeah.
That's huge screen.
It's a big screen. The other cool thing it does is it actually shows you
Oh, now it wants you to go straight.
No, it wants us to go straight. We missed our turn, I think. It does tow. If you get the Bob 350, it tows 5,000. If you get this one, the 450, it tows 7,000. And in general, how does it drive? We haven't talked about how it drives.
Really well. The Active E suspension really makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So you slam on the brakes right now, we're not going to get the toss forward that we would normally get in a car. Going around curves, it keeps it fairly. It's like a go-kart, it keeps it level.
Yeah. It's actually drives really well. The only thing I would say is it's got a really, and you can turn this off, of course, a really invasive lane kind of keep. So if I go there, it really does not want me to cross that line. It pushes hard. It actually feels like it breaks the car to keep me in my lane.
Which is good, because I would say, out here on the roads of Texas, it's not a real problem. It's not, we have probably about 5 feet on the side of each lane to drift, but if you're in a busy city with high-speed traffic and you get 1 or 2 inches in the wrong direction, like freeway in California, it's all over. So.
And we were also able to increase the driving comfort compared to the ABC system. So
how does that work? Let me kind of walk you through how it works.
Yes, well, let's start with the heart of the system, the MPU. That's an electric hydraulic pump. So it's a combination of a hydraulic pump, an electric engine, and a controller directly attached to the electrical engine. And that's powered by 48 volt, so that's very powerful. We can generate up to 3 kilowatt of power, and we generate pressure differences of up to 130 bars. And we use this oil flow then to let it flow to the damper, and then we can generate forces inside the damper that are added to the forces by the air spring. So it's a combination of an air spring and an active damper. You can change the level at each wheel independently with the new off-road feature of e-active body control. So we have slider control inside the hand unit, and you can change the level then at each wheel independently and can change additional 60 millimeters at each wheel. The air spring also changes the level of the system depending on the speed. If you go on a highway, then at higher speeds the level is lowered up to 15 millimeters.
So what do you think of the styling?
Exterior-wise, it's pleasant but not revolutionary.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting. You made the point that the Japanese, right, have gone all kind of angular and
Lexus spindle grille, in your face, the UX dynamic, the Japanese cars have become like, hey, look at us,
very emotional.
Here we are. Emotional styling, which was, the head of Toyota said that they didn't want to produce boring Lexus anymore.
I'm not saying it's boring, but I will say from the back, if you stuck a Acura badge on it, you'd have a hard time telling it apart from an RDX.
Yeah, it's nice, but it's not unpleasant in any way, shape, or form. But it's definitely not. I don't watch it go past and go, whoa.
It's a mild hybrid, and there are only 3 other straight six that you can get in America. None of them are mild hybrids, I think. The BMW is, of course, the one that has always been around with the straight six, and there's a Ram Cummins truck that has a straight six, and now this is the 3rd straight six. And the reason...
So this is one of only 2 gasoline straight sixes.
Yes. And why did straight sixes die, even though they were the pinnacle of automotive engineering? I mean, they are crazy quiet, crazy smooth, just really fast, fun, and furious.
But
packaging. Yeah, they're too long. Like, V6s are much easier to package, so they killed the straight six, even though the straight six is a much better engine design from an engineering standpoint. So I love the fact that they brought it back, dude. And Nick, are we going to let this car drive itself? Because in stop-and-go traffic, it should be able to drive itself.
Yeah, we're trying. I'm a little nervous because it's cut some things really close already. So
yeah. I mean, this is a really good test because we have a guy with a bunch of carpet rolls in his pickup in front of us, right? And if this thing doesn't stop, we're gonna be eating carpet.
And he doesn't have a flag on them either, and they extend quite a long way out the back of the truck.
So you've got your hands off the wheel.
Yeah.
You got your foot off the
accelerator,
and
although it's hovering on the brake.
It's hovering on the brake. And the car is driving itself.
Yeah.
Right? You can see right there, right?
Green steering wheel.
Green steering wheel, yeah.
And in my heads-up display, I'm doing 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, 34, 35 now. And
Yeah.
at some point when you get going really quickly, it will make you grab the wheel. It'll tell you to grab the wheel. It'll disengage itself. But
It's
so
having
far,
a few problems because we're in a roadwork zone here that has old lines on the road which haven't been taken up 100% and has new lines on the road, and I think it's trying to work out exactly where the lanes are. It told me to put my hands back on the wheel.
So you went basically for 1 minute and 25 seconds without touching the wheel there.
All right.
That's pretty crazy.
And now it's having trouble. There's an off-ramp here, and it's having trouble understanding where the off-ramp is.
And this is the thing, Nick, right? Real world conditions aren't like the ones we see in those simulations, right? There's guys with carpet without flags, there's roadworks.
Right, and then these concrete barriers on the side. I mean, presumably it sees them, but it might see them as a white line. And so I could maybe wander over them or get a little closer, then the car would be damaged.
Yeah.
Hey, Mercedes.
Hey, no, Bob! Cancel.
Here is Angela McDonald.
Apparently, we needed Andrew
Right.
McDonald.
But it does do some cool things, right?
Right.
Like you can go, hey, Mercedes. Hey, Mercedes.
How can I help you?
What's 5 plus 2?
7.
But it's very much like a fourth grader, because watch this.
Okay.
Hey, Mercedes, what's the cosine of pi?
What would you like to do?
Mercedes, what is the cosine of pi?
Please repeat.
Cancel.
So it can help your kids with homework up to about what, like fifth grade?
3, yeah, 4, 5.
and then
Depending on what state you're in.
Now we talked to the guy who is in charge of it. He said that it actually uses two things. It uses the processor in the car, and then when you're in cell service, it uses cell service to go to a computer like Siri or Android, right? Amazon, any of those, so that it has a much more powerful computer processing the request. Notice this too, right there? They're all square.
Yes,
all the
I
other
did.
Mercedes have the round.
I absolutely noticed that, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, I kind of like it too. Mercedes is doing very innovative things with air vents.
Yeah.
It'll be available spring of 2019 as a 2020 model. Fuel economy numbers have not yet been released.
Wait, now let me ask you this question.
How much does it cost?
Well,
I don't know. How much?
I have a secret. I have secret information. I know that I was told the pricing will be somewhere from the low 50s, like 52, to the mid 50s, like 55. So it'll start between 52 and 55, which is a decent range. I think that's about the same as the BMW X5. Hi, Mercedes.
A lot of technology going on here.
Hi, Mercedes.
What do you want to do?
What is a...
Oh, no, we're not going there. We are not going there, Nick. Cancel. Mercedes, cancel quickly. Cancel. Anyway, Nick, we seem to have gotten very off track with Bob.
This is a car review, clearly.
Thanks for watching. Remember, check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and of course, real world reviews. And check out our auto expert over there, Mr. Nick. On his Fox News appearances or his YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel, Nick?
Nick J. Miles, NIKJMILES.
There you go. Thanks, guys.
Turn left.
You have to admit that's pretty cool, Nick. Where you see the camera that points you which way you should go, and then you see the name of the highway.
Yes.
And I don't know what the high stands for.
Highway.
Oh.